Now, this is important for anybody that goes to church or contributes to a nonprofit. This is how Nancy Pelosi's For the Politicians Act would threaten your First Amendment right to free speech. In our last video, I explained how H.R. 1 would reduce the number of Federal Election Commission members from 6 down to 5, which would allow one political party to control the commission. Now, you might be asking yourself, how does this change to the FEC affect my First Amendment right to free speech? Well, by turning the FEC into a partisan body, House Democrats would control the government agency that's in charge of determining what is classified as free speech or what's classified as political speech. So here's an example of how this affects you in real life. Let's say that your priest or your pastor or your reverend or your chaplain or your rabbi delivers a sermon some Sunday or some Saturday about protecting the unborn. Now, because of this legislation, the FEC would now have the power to classify that sermon as political speech, meaning that your church would now be subject to the FEC rule and required to disclose members of the congregation who have donated to the church. That means that if you donated to your church, your personal information, meaning your home address, your occupation, your employer, that would be put into a searchable government database, subjecting you and other members of your congregation who have donated to the church to possibly politically motivated harassment or intimidation or whatever other use somebody wants to use that information for. Giving a partisan government agency the power to determine what is free speech and what is political speech goes against everything that we stand for as Americans. I'm going to fight this legislation with everything that I have because nothing is more sacred to America than our First Amendment.